In today's video, we'll be starting our coding journey together. I'll be using Java as programming language.
Now before we start, let's discuss what is a programming language. I'm communicating with you guys in English. I can also communicate in Hindi or any other language, because this way you will understand what I'm trying to say. But if we talk to a computer in Hindi, English or any other language, it will not understand. Because computer only understand binary, which is 0 or 1. Using different combination of 0 and 1, we can form alphabets like A, B, C, D, or decimal like 0, 1, 2, 3, or even special characters like hash, ampersand, etc. Here, programming languages come into picture. Like if we are using Java, then its compiler and interpreter helps to convert the source code into binary so that computer is able to understand it.
Let's get started with coding. I'm gonna create a file as student.java. Now let us write a student class. For simplicity, first we'll be having only public static void main method in our class, where we'll be passing one string array args, and we'll just print hello through our class. This system.out.println line will print that hello for us. Now let us break and understand what this line means. Public static void main.
Here, public means main method is globally accessible, so that JVM can invoke it from outside of the class as well. Because as you can see here, JVM is not there inside our class. Now, what is static? And why even we are making this main method as static? First of all, static is a keyword. Now, normally to call a method, we create object of that class. But by this keyword static, without even creating any object of this class, JVM can invoke it. So, this will save the unnecessary wastage of memory by creation of object every time we want to call this main method. Now, let us come and discuss what is void here. Whenever we are marking a method as void, means the return type of this method is void, which means this method does not return anything. Once main method terminates, this class will also terminate. So, post that, if the method returning some value, then what JVM will be doing with that? Making no sense, right? That is why we are making this as void. But why are we calling this method as main only? We can keep any name of this method, right? No, we cannot, because JVM looks for a method with this main name only as the starting point of the program. So it works as an identifier. Here one more thing needs to be clear, that JVM will also look for such a public static void main method which has string type array passed as a parameter. And that is why we have to write this whole line as public static void main, where we are just passing the string args as the parameter.
Let's run the Java file. As a prerequisite, you should have Java installed in your system. Now I have gone to that particular path, which is desktop in my case, where student.java exists. Java C is the Java compiler which helps to convert the .java file into .class file. See, this .class file got created. This .class file is nothing but the bytecode of student class. It is not much understandable to you, but using this only, Java interpreter will convert that bytecode into machine language so that computer will understand it and gives you the output. See, it has printed hello. Now let us create one object of the student class. As we discussed previously, the student class will be having two attributes, name and age. Here, the string or int is the data type, and this name, the string or int is the data type, and this name and age are the variable. Now, student S equals to new student. This line will be helping us in creating the object. Let us understand these three new lines that I have just added.
First, we'll be discussing what is exactly a data type and variable. Suppose you have 1 liter of water and 2 containers, a bucket and a big plate. Now, according to the state of water, which is liquid, we should be storing that 1 liter water in bucket, which makes more sense. Similarly, if we want to store data in computer, their memory will be coming into picture. So, variable is that particular memory location's name where we will be storing the data we want to store. Here we are writing string name, right? So in memory we will be having a location named as name, which is the variable name. It means the location, memory location's name is name. And we are storing Ram, Sham, Amit, whatever is your name in that particular memory location. And to fix the type of data that we can store in that particular memory location, we are using the data type, which basically specifies different size and value that can be stored in a variable. In our case, like for name, it should be a sequence of character. And string is that particular type of data type which can store that. Like in case of age, we always define it as 10, 20, 30 as a decimal number, right? So that always represented by an integer type of data type. And that is why we are marking it as string name and int age. Now comes to this line, student S equals to new student. We'll learn how it is actually creating one object for student class. Let us break it in 3 things first. Student S, new, student, opening braces, closing braces. The first part refers to a particular reference variable of this class student. which means yet in memory there is nothing allocated for student classes object. Also, the object is not created yet. Then when we are writing this new, it is one of the way that we can create objects. Then comes student, opening and closing braces. This is the constructor of student class. In brief, constructor is a special method which is used to initialize objects. If you see, we haven't mentioned any other method as student name inside student class, but still we can access the student constructor, right? How is it possible? JVM compiler actually provides it. This is the default constructor that JVM compiler provides us to use it. And that is why when we are writing the student s equals to new student, this is first using this reference variable. This is we are declaring here. Then using new, we are instantiating the object. Then using the constructor, we are initializing the object. And that is when JVM allocates the required memory in a heap area to create this object. And once this memory is allocated, it holds a reference to this memory through some variable, which is in our case is S.
Let's print the name of S object. Here, using this S reference variable, we can access the variable of student class. We'll also print age. Let us run it. Again, we have to compile it first because there are some changes. Oops. See, as I have given it in a double quotes, it has printed as a string. To print the value of it, I have to given it as only s.name and s.age. Let us compile and run it. See, it has printed null for s.name and 0 for s.age. Why so? Because we haven't assigned any name or age to this value yet. So, in that case, as name is a string type of variable, so it will be giving you the default value as null, and in case of age, it will be 0 as it is an integer type. Now let us assign some value to it. As it's a int type of variable, so no double quotes is required in that case. So let us run it now. See, Amit and 10 has been printed properly. So that's all for student class and how you can create one object for it. This is how you can create it without using any Eclipse or IDE. But if you are not very much comfortable with it, you can use many IDEs that are available in market like STS, IntelliJ or Eclipse, etc. For your reference, I have created the similar class here, student.java. I'm using STS. If I run it here as run as Java application, See, it has printed hello as we have given system.out.println hello. Then s.name which is Ram and s.edge which is 19. That's all for today's coding class. Although I have given you a brief about data type, accessories are like public, JVM, etc. But each of them itself are really huge topic. Don't worry, I'll be covering them as well in my upcoming videos. Please let me know in the comment section below if you want me to make a video on a particular topic. So that's all for today. Please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in my next videos. Thank you for watching.